Hi everyone, it's your boy Zach, and I finished watching Last Jedi yesterday, literally like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes before I went to go into the theater to see Rise of Skywalker. I did my review of Rise of Skywalker on my main channel, but if I do see it again in the theater, which I might, I'll do my second viewing review over here. A lot of the times, the second time I see a movie, it's a lot different. I have a lot different opinion of it. But Last Jedi was a weird one. I've got a history with Last Jedi, just from the first year of my channel. So I've mentioned this several times. I reviewed Last Jedi back when it was very popular with the shill media, but it was very unpopular with kind of my crowd, my backers. And the first time I had a really good time. Talked about it a couple times. I don't believe I saw it again in theaters. I think it was just that one guy, and I had a good experience. I walked out very happy. I remember being very cold and recording a video about it. That's what I really remember, being happy and cold, talking about it. Walking back to my apartment with the cold wind off the Hudson. So anyway, I've been roasted for liking it over the last few years. I'm like, there's a lot of movies I like, other people don't like. But then a funny thing happened. They showed Last Jedi basically every flight I've been on for the last couple years, and I've probably tried to watch it 5 to 6 times, and I could never finish it. In fact, I would always quit about 5 to 10 minutes in. So then I would mention that, and then I would get hit up for being a shill and just changing my mind because it was popular. I was like, but I like 100 other movies that people hate. Like, why would I choose that one? So then I started to even doubt myself. I was like, what's going on? Like, how come I can't get through it? And I said it was so great the first time. So finally, I what do you call it? I made myself watch it. Originally, I wanted to watch it a couple days before I saw Rise of Skywalker, not 5 minutes. But the first 30 minutes or so took me about 3 days to get through. Same thing happened when I was trying to watch it on the airplane. I would get 5 minutes and it's like, I can't take this movie. Finally, over like 3 or 4 days, I got through about half the movie. And then I finished the other half because I was like, I'm seeing Rise of Skywalker in 2 hours. I have to finish it. So I just gutted it. So what I remembered, watching it the second time, is that it has a really bad first hour, especially like the first 15 minutes. It's ridiculous. Then, an hour in, it gets pretty kind of cool and interesting, and stays cool and interesting for much of the next hour. And then the last 30 minutes is just stupid, but it's stupid in just kind of like an eye roll way, like, okay, whatever. Not in a way that makes you angry like the first one. So Rian Johnson's made the geek news a lot in the last year, and I think we're stuck with him. Knives Out was incredibly profitable, and so he's going to get lots of offers, and he's also it's hard to explain, but I would describe him as he's SJW Jesus. Like, you cannot attack him because he did what hate-filled SJWs, is their dream, is to get a job where you actively antagonize and hate the fans, and then you get good reviews and you can't be criticized. It's insane. It's like if Hulk Hogan would have wrestled the audience, like just jump into the crowd and just start beating on people. But I have a couple things to say to you. Number one, after watching Last Jedi all the way through for the second time, I can tell you that you, the listener, not the royal you, the person listening to this video right now, Rian Johnson hates you. But the good news is, it's nothing personal. You're just a person, and he hates people. So Rian Johnson's been on my radar screen for a while. I love Brick with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I was very, very, very excited about Looper until I went, and all the trailers didn't let you know that you were going to spend an hour with the characters hiding out in a farmhouse. Yep. Looper started off good, and then it got really boring, and then it just flamed out. Hey, wait, is is that a... Well, Brick was good. And somebody was even mentioning in the comments that Rian Johnson directed one of the most famous episodes of Breaking Bad. I don't know. All I know is the first time I heard about him, I really liked him. The second time I was like, it happens, sophomore slump. And then with Last Jedi, it was just weird. It was, like I said. So the things that kept me out of it, the first 15 minutes is it has... Okay, so at first you say it's misandrous. It hates men. And then it's like really, really politically correct, but in a weird way that not only breaks immersion, but basically makes both sides kind of equally moral or immoral. So, in the 1970s when Star Wars and Empire, mainly Star Wars, was filmed, it was all white people, essentially. All white people. It was filmed in England, and it was all white people, and that was just normal for the time. But even back then, George Lucas got a little bit of heat. They're like, hey, where the brothers at? So we get Lando Calrissian. And there were several, background characters on Cloud City that were black and other races. So we got a little bit more. There really wasn't much more added to Return of the Jedi. But, the prequels, a little bit more diverse. But then this one, it's like, it just got like stupid. So at the beginning, you're seeing a lot of control rooms and command centers and things like that. But if you notice, like in the first 15 minutes, there's this weird bit where like every time a white man speaks, the next line has to not be a white man, and it's like a drinking game, like how you can just predict it, and then drink when the rare exception happens. But the other thing that's weird is it shows that the First Order is incredibly diverse. We're talking about women, people of color, elderly people. They make a big show on both sides. I've seen very obviously old people in their 50s and 60s on the Force. It's incredibly strange. And what it just gets to, it's like, oh, get it? We're trying to appeal to, if you're 70, you could feel like you're in on the adventure with your heroes. Like, making the good guys more diverse, that makes sense. Making the bad guys equally and in some cases more diverse than the heroes, that's just stupid. And I noticed it also in they kept having this scene where they would have like the gruff commander, and he's like, we need to do this, and then he would have like this female right next to him, and she'd be like, yeah, we need to do that. I'm like, is that like your mini-me? Like, she didn't add anything. She just repeated what you said, but then it kind of almost made it look like, wait, is she really in charge and he's suggesting it and she's giving permission, or what? It's weird. The other thing is that the tactics are absolutely insanely bad, and they have this weird thing where the leadership of the resistance is almost entirely female in a force that's about 40% female, and the women in charge are some of the most incompetent leaders in sci-fi military history. All they do is retreat badly. The whole movie is about retreating really, really poorly, retreating in a way where you lose almost anyone anyway, retreating in a way that other people are completely demoralized and don't want to help you out. And it's all because the female leadership is completely incompetent, selfish, and idiotic and egotistical. So you're basically, the whole first hour is just this weird thing that's trying to be like woke male feminist, but it actually just comes off as, I don't even think Rian Johnson realizes that his movie looks like, it makes it look like he has real problems with women. Like, he's condescending to him. It's like, I'm fine, whatever. Okay, so you're gonna be in charge and you're gonna be like yelling at the men and slapping them, and you're gonna be leading, but you're also, I'm gonna make you weird or ugly, like your costume or your makeup, and also your character is ultimately gonna be a complete idiot that causes nothing but problems. Like, paging Dr. Freud. How come Kathleen Kennedy never, like, she's just like, Ryan, you're so amazing. Look at all the female leadership. Women supporting women. That's just great. Like, did you finish the script, Kathleen Kennedy? Did you notice that all the women did in this movie was get everyone killed? So then I just noticed there's like this meanness to it. There's a glee that he has, and the phrase is subverting expectations, but it's literally he's just kind of like symbolically just slapping the audience in the face. Rey goes to Luke because she has heard he's this great hero, wants him to help, and then all of Luke's responses to her is basically making fun of her, saying the things the audience is saying. I mean, just basically degrading her, and by the transitive factor, degrading the audience. And you might say, well, there's going to be some twists. Well, no, not really. There's a little bit of he thinks he could help, but we all know the deal. It's a Force ghost, and then he had to kill Luke, and that doesn't even make sense. There's all these powers that we never saw before. Maybe the reason we never saw them before is all these powers that nobody used before kill you. All this Force projection and Force healing. It's there's a reason they didn't do that in the Clone Wars, because it kills off the people, the user. But I just noticed there's a lot of the humor is based upon like meanness and cruelty. Like there's a bit where they've got these they're called porgs. I thought they were just to sell merchandise, but I guess there were actual like flightless birds on that island, so they had to CGI them a little bit, but then they just put them in. So there's bits where the porgs are like being eaten, and then they're seeing one of their being eaten, and you might think like, oh, that's like a sight gag. It's like, no, like it really, really drags on. Like we get like 4 or 5 different reaction shots of like terrified, watery-eyed porgs, heartbroken that Chewbacca is eating one of them. And you're like, this isn't a joke. Rian Johnson just seems to like people being in fear of being eaten, and beings, and he just seems to enjoy their pain and misery. And there's a bunch of jokes that are based around degradation and pain and misery and fear, and they're not like cathartic. It just the central point behind the humor is, haha, that person's hurt, haha, that person's scared, like enjoying it. Besides that, I really don't have much to say about it. I really did like the Rey, Kylo Ren, Snoke storyline. I still like their fight in Snoke's, bachelor pad throne room, whatever that is. I still think it's inventive that Snoke was suddenly killed after being built up in the first one. I'm actually fine with that. I'm still fine with that. At the end, when after retreating badly for 2 hours, they basically stuffed themselves into a cave with no back exit, they think. That part I just started just rolling my eyes, and it was stupid. But yeah, so again, first hour incredibly politically correct, while also being like just kind of hating everyone, pretending to be like pro women, but actually just despising them. Despising pretty much the one person Rian does not despise is himself. It's not even pushing politics. What it's pushing is his ego. His idea that he is just the cleverest little boy in the class, and he needs everyone to know about it. He needs the students to know about it. He needs the teacher to know about it. He needs the principal. He needs the freaking janitor to know just how clever Rian Johnson is. That being said, again, I believe he's incredibly talented. He just has a massive ego, and he comes off as one of those like I don't know, like those guys who got like bullied in high school or even grade school, and like they never get over it, so they have this weird kind of like omnidirectional anger at life. Patton Oswalt is another one of those guys. Like, he's funny, but there's a real like bitter acidity to his personality. That really comes through on Twitter. Like, he just hates a lot of people, and he seems to really enjoy hating people. So to wrap this up, Rian Johnson hates you, but it's nothing personal. You're just a human who isn't Rian Johnson, so he was going to hate you anyway. So anyway, thanks for watching. I got the Amazon Prime Video. I got Hulu. Oh, I forgot I had Hulu, Netflix, and Disney Plus. And then I also kind of want to get that DC streaming because I want to watch Titans. But then I was like, man, now I'm on like 5 streaming services. So I'm halfway to, I quit, I cut the cord, like 2010, when I realized I was paying like $150 a month for cable, and yet all I was watching was, oh my gosh, It was one of those tattoo shows. It was a girl, I'm going to say tattoo show, and it was the girl who has all the tattoos. LA Ink. LA Ink. I was paying $150 a month while flat broke, and basically all I watched was LA Ink, and so I cut the cord, 2010. And now I'm probably paying halfway up there. What I was saying is I used to, if the movie wasn't on any stream services, I would pay, like, for a while there you could get movies on YouTube for like $1.99. But now just to rent a movie for 24 hours is like $3.99. So I'm like, I think I'm only going to do that when all of my watch lists on everything are dry. Like I almost went to go rent The Shadow with Alec Baldwin. It's like $3.99 to watch The Shadow? Are you serious? No. How about no? Okay, drop that down to like $1.99. That thing's been on cable a million times. It's not that popular of a movie. Like, dial it down, dial it back. So anyway, I was going to do The Shadow, and I think I'm going to do The Expanse Season 4, Episode 1 tomorrow. Also, I kind of, sort of, not really interviewed or reviewed The Witcher. I did a video about The Witcher, but it was about why I quit watching it 6 minutes in. So if you think I should give The Witcher a second chance, let me know. And if a lot of people want it, I'll finish it and review it here. Thanks for watching. Bye.